it felt like there was an elephant on my chest, and I just remember hyperventilating and crying, and I thought I was dying.
Emma Gregory was in the 1st grade when her parents divorced. Then came the panic attacks, which doctors said were brought on by OCD and ADHD. By middle school, she was also dealing with depression and anxiety, which as a Christian was difficult to understand.
It was very hard because I knew that I was saved, and I shouldn't be feeling this way. If I'm saved, I should still be on fire for God.
Medications helped, but Emma would be in a constant battle with cycles of anxiety, depression, and panic attacks into her teen years. While those around her wrote it off as just teenage hormones, Emma continued to struggle. Eventually, thoughts of suicide and dying began filling her mind, and she started to believe even God didn't care about her.
I felt like, okay, I've made this commitment to you, God, and now I feel alone. I feel hopeless. One night I cut myself because I needed that control, and I felt like God was ignoring me.
Then, in her senior year, Emma felt like her life had turned a corner. Her mom remarried, they moved into a beautiful home, she got accepted into college, and she adopted Hazel, a service dog who became her constant companion. Then, on December 30th, 2019, after a family get-together, a sudden wave of suicidal thoughts flooded her mind.
Something just flipped in my brain. I just remember feeling like I couldn't control what was happening. I really didn't want to die. I really didn't want to kill myself, but I felt like there was no other option.
The next thing Emma remembers is standing on a bridge.
As I was walking towards the edge, and I remember looking down at the water and thinking, I'm so scared to do this, but I have no other option. I cannot make it through another cycle of anxiety and depression and hopelessness, and I would rather have a good day and end it there than have to have another bad day. And then miraculously, a officer pulled up behind my car, and instead of saying, you're trespassing, or have you been drinking, or or have you taken anything, which I hadn't, he just came and embraced me.
The officer's name was Nick Reisner. Emma says he gave her a hug and told her he had a daughter her age and believed God sent him to comfort her.
When he hugged me, it felt like I was crying out all of the tears that I had had since 1st grade. It felt like for the first time I was able to really let go of everything that had happened. After that moment, I had a second chance at life.
When Emma went to college for pre-med, Nick continued to be a lifeline for her, always there to listen and encourage Emma in her faith whenever the anxiety arose. Then, on October 1st, 2021, Nick was shot in the line of duty. He died 2 days later.
I remember just feeling like I couldn't stand anymore. And I fell to the floor on my knees and started screaming. I lost this person it was like another dad. I felt so angry at God. Sorry. I didn't even get the chance to say goodbye.
With Nick gone, Emma felt she'd lost the only person who understood her struggles. Now the depression and suicidal thoughts were coming more frequently, threatening again to take over her life. It was then she began to remember something Nick said to her often, that the only lifeline she needed was Jesus.
It definitely felt like I had to completely restart my healing process, because I realized I kind of made Nick my Jesus. That's not what he wanted. He always gave it back to God. I really started to focus on worship. Every time that I was doing worship, I was getting closer to God. That's really how I connect to God, is through worship. I had to start reading my Bible again. I had to start praying more. I had to cling to the God that couldn't be killed. I had to cling to the God that did raise from the dead.
Emma's condition improved over the next 3 years. She changed her degree to counseling and even started a student organization called the 15-Minute Project to reach out to others struggling with depression and anxiety.
I'm finally able to worship freely and not have those thoughts in the back of my mind because I'm talking to him all the time, every day, all day. Those 15 minutes saved my life, and I had to tell people about it.
As Emma continues to progress more and more in her mental health journey, her message to those around her is simple. Whether life works out well or not, our only hope is in Jesus Christ alone, and there's purpose in all of our struggles.
I'm finally getting to the point where when something happens, I don't immediately go to killing myself because that's not an option anymore. I have so many people that I have to tell my story to so that they don't get to that point. So many people have been where I was, and I have to show them that it's okay. I have to show them that there's hope and that there's a peace that they can have that passes all understanding, and that they don't need a person to glue them back together because they can have Jesus that will never leave.